Thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Talking to Justin Gaston. He's in this new Pure Flix movie, God's Country Song, which is phenomenal. Congratulations on being in a well done family movie. First off, tell me your thoughts on it. Why did you want to be in this, Justin?
Well, it's a movie about God and faith and family and redemption and second chances, and that's something, all of those things I'm passionate about, and I think it's something that needs to be talked about more. It's always going to be relevant, and it's also a movie where I get to be a country music singer. So, I'm a singer-songwriter myself. I grew up on country music, and so it's a no-brainer for me.
The movie, you said, redemption and those elements like that. I noticed that this is the second recent kind of family movie you've been in. You were in one called, I think, Santa Bootcamp, not too long ago. And of course, not every movie and every TV show is for kids. I understand that, but is there something about that you like to be in these types of movies that kind of family centric?
Yeah, I think, especially now that my kids are older, 7 and 5, but old enough that we're having like conversations and they can ask good questions. It really makes you start to think about what you're going to work to do. So, I want to do things that I can be proud of and that I can show them. I mean, I think it's a good metric. It's like, if I can't show my kids this, should I be a part of it? I think those are the questions we have to ask ourselves. And, the answer may be yes for certain reasons. They can't see it, but, I definitely want to do things that I can watch with my family and be proud of.
I'm curious. I was talking before we started here. I was telling you how much I was enjoying just getting to know you by looking at your social media, your Instagram, and you post lots of pictures of your two girls, Olivia and Sophie, and they're beautiful. How has fatherhood changed you for the better?
I think it only changes life for the better. When friends of mine ask that don't have kids, I think for so many reasons. I think they just they taught me so much about they've taught me so much about God and his love for me. Like through them, I understand that love more as a father, just things like that I've never understood before. I think kids just help. Melissa, my wife, and I were just talking about this. She was just telling me about this, men's health study that's like, it's so much healthier for men to have children because your focus is on something outside of yourself, and it like keeps you busy and keeps you active and keep you going. So I think even on a scientific level, like if you put away everything else and just look at it from that view, I think it's just healthier. And I think that's for a reason. I think that's the way, God set things up. But I just think it's healthier. I think it's good for our mental state to just be focused on the next generation and building up them and helping them to succeed. I just think it's good all around. And I love them more than anything in the world. And I would do anything for them. And I think they just made me, they just made my heart grow, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think you're speaking truth. You're, I think as a father, you and myself and all fathers, you really don't understand God's love for us completely or fully until I think. Well, I don't want to say that because God loves us no matter what, but I think you, as a father, understand God's love for us, because I think that relationship is kind of like a word picture. It's a picture of God's love for us. It's just, and it makes you less selfish. Just it's amazing.
Yeah, I think it's hard to understand like unconditional love until you're a parent. And I'm not to say you can't, but love for a spouse and love for your parent, it's just different. Until because you love something before you ever know that thing. And so you understand that like, oh, they didn't earn my love. Like I've always loved that person. So like, there's nothing they could do to like that could take that love away. They could hurt me, they could make me, sad, but they can't, like, the love that I had for them has always been there. So it can't be taken away by actions.
And they'll do silly things that your spouse would never do, and it's almost like,
right.
like God telling you, this is how I view you sometimes. I view you as doing these crazy things, but I still love you no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
What do you enjoy more, singing or acting? Do you have one for both, or what does that fall?
It's just, I mean, that's why this project is so amazing, because anytime I can go to work and act and sing and record songs. I mean, my favorite thing in the world is to be creative, writing songs and being in the studio. So that's, and this project, I got to do all of those things. I got to go in the studio. I got to record the songs with Melissa and Andy Sheridan, who did the music. And then I got to go film them on stage and, like, just sort of, it was fun because Noah, early on, working with the songwriters and working with the wardrobe stylist, I was like, I really want to let's make this guy like super 90s country, like the pearl snaps, he wears the cowboy hat, because it's not overly popular anymore in country music. It's kind of gone to the baseball caps, and which is cool, great, whatever. But I was like, I want this guy to be more traditional, like kind of the music I grew up on. So it was just a really fun movie to make. Although it's fun. It's a good movie because there's a lot of fun moments. There's laughter, but there's also some really, important topics and issues like addiction and, just dealing with loss, and just how, important it is to have God, and how God redeems, and just the importance of the family unit and strong fathers and mothers in the home. So it's a really good movie.
I didn't ask. I only have 2 more small questions for you because I know you're traveling right now, Justin. Did you grow up in a Christian home? How did your faith? Did you grow up with a faith, or did you discover that late in life?
Yeah, I mean, I think yes. I grew up going to church, but I did the whole. Got baptized when I was a kid because my brother and sister did it, which is interesting because I'm reading this book about that, and as a father, it's all about avoiding like a false conversion, so that you don't you don't have this like veneer, this false like, oh, I'm saved, I got baptized when I was 8, but I was very fortunate that when I was a teenager, I went to a church camp and met God there. I had a genuine encounter, and it was up and down in that first year or 2, but I can remember just being in high school, and like after that, I would just sit there in school and read my Bible all day long. I don't even know what they were teaching me. I was just literally, like, from the time I got to school until I left, just reading my Bible in every class. So yeah, I did grow up in a Christian home, and very fortunate to have that foundation, and just have, I had a super loving mom and dad, which, I think you can take for granted sometimes, and I'm sure I did. But as you grow up, and then as you do movies like this, and you see, even, you just see the ramifications of a broken home, and, for any reason, for parents getting sick and passing, for whatever reason it is, it's like you can see it, and I just feel very fortunate to have grown up that way.
Amen to that. Let's close by talking about what's next for you. I know what's next for you is kind of what's recent for you, because you recently released a new song. So tell me about the new song and maybe anything coming up.
Yeah. So I just released a song called "The One." It's under Justin Gaston, which is my full name, and it's on any major streaming platform, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, all that. And really excited about it. I wrote it with one of my best friends. We went to high school together, and he lives in Nashville, and he's a super talented songwriter and producer. His name's Ben Schofield. But we've been friends for 20 years now. So it's a song. it almost kind of like spiraled off this movie. I was thinking about Noah, who's my character, and I was like, oh man, it's so interesting because he finds out he has a son like later in life, and he kind of has to decide if he's gonna, continue pursuing his career, which he's sort of, forsaken family and all that to pursue his career, and he's like deciding, am I gonna take care of the son or am I gonna pursue my career? And it just made me start thinking about my life and being a dad, and I started thinking about, when you're a kid, you can kind of make mistakes and get away with it. It's like, oh, that was bad, but it only affected me. And I was like, man, if I make mistakes now, that's a generational effect at this point. It could be. And anyways, that's sort of where this song started, and it kind of went into, Jesus being the ultimate. He's the only one that could save me. And that's sort of like the heart of the song. It was kind of a different song, and then I took it into my friend Ben, and he really helped me cultivate what I think is a beautiful song.
That's awesome. And it's called The One. That's the name of the
song.
Yeah,
and it's under Justin Michael Gaston.
We've been speaking to Justin Gaston. He's traveling cross country. You're speaking to me from your vehicle. I'm speaking to you from my vehicle. Kind of a cool thing here. So,
I like it.
Thanks for taking the time. And the new movie is God's Country Song. It's on Pure Flix. Justin.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it.